Good morning, everyone. How are we today on this beautiful Thursday? I'm excited today. I have a massage and chiropractor to look forward to. Although my massage therapist is a little bit bittersweet because she's such a deep tissue person that I know that there'll be some momentary pain to acquire some long term gain. But those are definitely first world problems, and I'm so grateful that I get to experience them. So let's begin our morning as we do with our breathing. And so we breathe in through our nose, hold, and breathe out through the mouth. And so let's start. Hold, out, in, hold, out. Continue. In, hold, out. Okay, open your eyes and come back to your body and wiggle your fingers, and tickle your toes, and do all those things. If you're out there, send me a thumbs up or a good morning or a hello. Let me know you're out there. Be happy to see you. Today, I want to talk about the continued spiritual awareness, continuing on in this, excuse me, continuing on in this spiritual growth, in this spiritual expansion. The incredible aspects of choosing this path is that it's ever expanding. It's ever expanding. There's more and more and more and more to experience as we move forward. And what becomes the more of it is to continue to challenge those aspects of myself that were trained to be afraid or resistant to the goings on of regular life, of natural reality. The idea that we are conditioned to feel sadness over everyday things, when in reality, that emotionalism that goes with that is part of the controlling mechanism within ourselves. For instance, when we plant a garden, we work the garden, we till the garden, we harvest the garden, and we watch the plants wither and then return to the soil. And the whole process is a process of life. And some of us actually experience the joys when the plant when the original plant pops up through the ground or starts taking shape after we've potted it and put it in the soil. We excite when it blooms. We tell everybody, oh, wow, the tomatoes are blooming. Oh, wow, the cucumbers are blooming. Oh, wow, the peas are blooming. And then the pea pods start to develop, or the little tomatoes, you say tomato, I say tomato, come on the plant, and we're sharing all that, and we're excited and joyful. And then we harvest it, and we're excited and joyful. Yet when the plant begins to wither and move along, oftentimes the excitement and joy of the process has sort of diminished. And there's this sort of expression of, oh, wow, the plant is withering. Oh, wow, the plant is no longer here. Oh, wow, it's the end of the season. Oh, wow, winter's coming. And the joy has moved out of it. I suggest to you to begin becoming responsible to embrace the joy at that aspect of the life cycle as well, because there's joy in all of it. There's joy in the whole presentation. Evil, bad, not good, comes from our intellect. We were trained to perceive not good. And we were trained to perceive not good in contrast to good. Yet, the whole of creation, the whole of which we are part, the whole of all that is good. If something as good and bad exists, all of it, the whole process is of all that is. So the perception that we have, that we give it, the emotion that we put to it, the sadness that we allow as a result of it, is all put on ourselves by ourselves. And as we spiritually expand, something that's important is to see the expansion in all ways as good. And eventually get to the point where we disconnect good and bad entirely. It simply is. All that is, is. All that is. So again, this morning I have some reading from Emily Cady in her book, Lessons in Truth. And if you haven't seen this book, I suggest you go out and look for it. It's incredibly valuable. And she says at the bottom of page 105, excuse me, with spiritual understanding comes new light, the very spirit of truth, which has come to abide with you forever in your consciousness, takes the deep things of all that is and reveals them to you. You will no longer run to and fro, seeking teachers or healers, and rely solely on your understanding and experience with all there is. You know that the living light, the living word within you, within me, will guide you into all the truth. Now, that quote, Emily Cady was a Christian woman in the United States of America, and she was writing this in her well, she was in her late 30s at that time, and late 30s at the turn of the 20th century for a woman was definitely middle age. And so she was a middle-aged American woman who had Christianity as her guide rule. And so she read the Bible and lived from the scripture that she read. And these insights came to her from her embrace of the divine consciousness that she learned existed from her study of those scriptures. And she said, what we need to do is to seek the revelation of the living God slash all that is within our own being, each for ourself, knowing that only this divinity come forth can make us powerful and happy. Only the understanding of your divine essence coming forth generates power and joy. Every person in his, her, our heart's desire, though he, she, they, them, it, may not quite know it, this new birth into a higher life, into spiritual consciousness. Everyone wants more power and more joy. And though to the unawakened, it may seem that it is more money as money, good as goods that person desires. They have been seeking long with a desire of unselfishness and a feeling that when they have truly found God, all that is, they will begin to do for others. It is not this, the fast that I choose to loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free. The thongs of the yoke are the teaching that has been given to us that we are in fact this body. The yoke is this body. I am not this body. I am the essential aspect of all that is, that empowers and animates this body, as well as you are, as well as every living thing in this three-dimensional plane is. Each and everything. The flower, as beautiful as it may be, is not that beautiful bud. It is, in fact, the essence that empowers that beautiful bud. And we see the beauty of the essence as manifest in that bud. We see the beauty of the essence manifest in our children as we watch our children grow in those simple life experiences. We watch them go through, and we are there with them to go through, brings us this great joy. Just that simple understanding. More joy and more feeling good is what we desire. And the reality is, all joy and all feeling good comes from that essential aspect of who we are. It doesn't come to us from the outside, it comes to us from the inside, from the inner knowing to embrace that which is truth. And therein lies our intrinsic power to be able to realize the truth, which is all that is, and embrace it and own it as myself. We are trained. So I've thought about it a little bit here of late about this experience we have in the United States of America with the Christmas season. Many of us have learned and have accepted that the Christmas season is the most joyous aspect of our physical calendar year. We've been trained this way since birth in many, many, many cases. Now, needless to say, there's many cases where people haven't been trained that. But what I'm talking about is the way our social fabric has brought forward this Christmas season as a joyful season. And what I realize is that that joy is what it is, in fact, we look for in all of our experience. And that it's so readily accessible, should we choose it, at this time of year helps more of us simply embrace it than resist it. It's about the joy. It's about the excitement. It's about the energy. It's about the truth. We are the presence of all that is wherever we are. We are the presence of divine consciousness and divine understanding wherever we are. Knowing that and embracing that and accepting that as true, and every day acknowledging that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. Simply by saying to myself over and over, I am a spiritual being having a human experience, do I empower the knowledge that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I salute you, each and every one of you, as the presence of God wherever you are. I acknowledge all that is present in me, through me, for me, by me. I acknowledge you as the presence of God wherever you are. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.